Oh, you're already taking your place. Mogherini, you are coming.
Thank you. I know I have a difficult name, so I try to facilitate the task. President Buhari, Chef Francois, distinguished heads of state, honorable members of the Nigerian government, heads of organizations and agencies, members of the diplomatic community, excellencies, dear friends. I think I'm the only person in this room that is for the first time in Abuja and in Nigeria. And I would like to thank very much you for hosting and organizing this summit here, and also for the invitation that allows me to join my first presence here with this very important summit. I'm really glad to be here for this summit, and let me tell you why. First of all, because I believe Africa and this region is a land of immense potential. You look at Nigeria, and it couldn't be more evident. Your oil industry is the most obvious example, but it's not just about natural resources. There is an even greater wealth in this place, and that's the people of Nigeria and all the people of Africa. They are, you are, the strongest asset to defeat any terrorist threat and any security threat. This is the 6th sub-Saharan country I visit in 1 year. And wherever I travel to Africa, I meet young people who are eager to learn, to share what they know, to do something good, and to build a better life for themselves and for their families. Nigeria is a country of entrepreneurs, artists, scientists, country of innovation. Our duty, a moral duty, and also a strong interest as well, is to make the most out of this potential. This is your interest, and this is our interest alike. Investing in your security, that goes together with investing in your growth and in your people, investing also in regional cooperation. All these priorities are central to our work today. L'Union européenne est consciente des défis multidimensionnels. C'est pour ça qu'on a approuvé, comme Union européenne, 50 millions d'euros pour le soutien à la force multinationale mixte contre Boko Haram. Et aujourd'hui, je suis heureuse de pouvoir l'annoncer avec l'Union africaine. Ça va devenir opérationnel dans ces jours-là. En total, 90 projets avec une valeur de 1,4 milliard d'euros seront financés par l'Union européenne dans les prochains 5 ans pour soutenir le développement de la région du lac Tchad. Les efforts des pays de la région de travailler davantage ensemble pour faire face à la menace de Boko Haram sont très importants pour nous. Et je voudrais souligner l'importance d'élargir cette coopération à d'autres domaines, tels que la migration, la lutte contre les crimes organisés, la dégradation des ressources naturelles, les changements climatiques, les défis socio-économiques. Parce qu'ils sont tous des facteurs qui rendent difficile, sinon impossible, développer les potentiels extraordinaires de cette région et de l'Afrique en général. Security threats and terrorism are clearly holding back your potential, and this is a battle we can fight together as partners and friends. Our youth, both in Europe and here, are being targeted by the terrorist propaganda. Of course, our societies are very different, but the path to radicalization is sometimes similar. It is built on disillusion, the lack of hope, of good jobs, the lack of positive role models, also the lack of an appropriate role that our young people can find in the societies and the communities they live in. Radicalization is a common challenge, taking different shapes. We have all been targeted by terrorist attacks. My own office in Brussels is just 200 meters away from the metro station where one of the attacks took place on the 22nd of March. And here in Nigeria, you know the face of terrorism all too well. And today, I'll meet the families of the Chibok girls. We must never forget 2 things. One, why terrorist organizations are so scared of girls in education. Because education is what makes girls, and also boys, by the way, powerful. Also boys, yes. And powerful girls and boys is what can make any country strong and resilient. This is what they want to destroy. And the second thing we have to always remember, as Europeans, is that Africa is hit incredibly hard, much harder than Europe, by terrorism. And we also must not forget, this has nothing to do with a clash of civilization. This is so evident here in Nigeria, where Boko Haram constantly targets mosques and Muslims. Boko Haram is not a voice of Islam. It's an enemy of Islam. Just like the Lord's Resistance Army has nothing to do with the Lord, only with warlords, child slavery, and black magic. So what the terrorists want to do is to divide us. They want us to look at each other, even in this room, with fear, with suspect. This makes our cooperation today, yesterday, and in the future even more important, and our responsibility so big. And this is why this summit is so crucial, because we need to bring together countries and partners to build, as we say in this summit, to build peace and development through the consolidation of collective efforts. So our work against terrorism begins with security, but goes well beyond that. To invest in our security, we need first of all to invest in our people. They are the recipe to win the fight. We can't win without good schools and hospitals, good vocational training, and good jobs, especially for young people, boys and girls. Good governance against corruption, good tribunals with a guarantee of no impunity and justice for all. We all know that bad governance and corruption are also holding back Africa's potential. So let me thank President Buhari, who just got back from the Anti-Corruption Summit in London. And let me thank him because he has put the fight against corruption at the core of his agenda, clearly saying in a very courageous way that corruption is about stealing money and that needs to be stopped. All this, from good governance to good healthcare, this is what we call resilience, the glue that keeps a community together, makes it strong against external and internal threats. Our work on the resilience of our societies might seem somehow far away from the hardcore security. It is not. In French, we would say, tout se tient. Everything is connected, and we have shared interests that make it possible and easy and convenient for all of us to work with a real spirit of partnership, with a win-win approach, even when this is less evident at the first sight. Take our work on migration. The idea behind the European Union Trust Fund for Africa is to address the root causes of migration. But look at the projects that we are financing in this region, which are already worth 200 million euros and another 120, namely on security, are coming in a few weeks. When we work to bring clean water to 160,000 people in Chad, we are contributing to the well-being of your citizens and to the security and stability of the whole region, and to the stability and the security of the whole world. In northern Nigeria, we are investing over 40 million euros to bring those who have fled from Boko Haram back to their homes and their lives. And we are investing to rebuild houses, to restore electricity, to repair roads and bridges. And by doing so, we are contributing to the well-being of these people, to the security and the stability of the region, and also to our own security and stability. This is the real meaning of our work on security and anti-terrorism. This is examples of what we call the comprehensive approach. The two sides of our commitment can only go together. As we invest in development, as we provide humanitarian aid, we're also supporting you in your fight for security and ourselves in our own fight for security. European member states, you heard that from Philip, are providing the military and intelligence expertise. We have helped Chad and Niger balance the costs of military operations, and we're contributing with further funding of security projects, the 120 million I just mentioned. This cooperation will continue and will grow stronger. And let me tell you, our contribution can only be more effective if you, African friends, pool together your resources and choose the path of regional cooperation. The multinational joint task force is a step in the right direction. And the threats we face do not stop at borders. And this is why, especially in a region like this, you cannot stop at borders either. You invest in your security, in our security, if you invest in regional cooperation. And this is why I am so proud to announce today with the African Union Committee the 50 million euros for the multinational joint task force that finally become operational. And thank you for an excellent cooperation we've established on that. I believe our bilateral relations can only benefit from stronger regional architectures. Look at each and every crisis that is shaking this continent and also our region. None of them is purely local. The causes are very often transnational, and so must be the solutions. Existing organizations, as the African Union, can and must be further strengthened. But also the G5 Sahel, with which, let me tell you very openly, since I took office, I've worked very well, and I look forward to our next ministerial meeting in June. It's going to be the third in less than 1 year, and I think this is exactly the rhythm and the pace of cooperation we need to establish. Together, we can build a network of bilateral, sub-regional, and regional organizations. Together, we can move towards a more just and cooperative world order, where all continents and all regions have their place and their role on the global stage. A world order where Africa finally holds the place it deserves and the place that the world needs Africa to take, because together with the place also goes the responsibility. Next year, I'll finish, Africa and our European Union will come together for our 5th summit. I have a proposal for all of us. Let's make something big and important out of it, because we are not in a business as usual mode. From terrorism to climate change, to the Sustainable Development Goals implementation, to the many crises we face together, and let me underline the reference to Libya that some of us have done today, we need to work together, and we face important months and years ahead. It is our interest as Europeans to see a strong Africa, because your strength is our strength. We need a secure Africa, because your security is our security. We need Africa to finally seize its full potential, and our interest and strong will is to invest on it. To invest in security, invest in your economies, in your infrastructures, in your people, investing in regional cooperation. In one word, working with Africa and not just for Africa. Because Africa doesn't need patrons, it needs partners. And in Europe, believe me, you have a partner and you have a friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Federica Mogherini, the Vice President of the European Commission. It's my honor and privilege to invite His Excellency